Microphone.
Like having a second.
As it's recorded.
Call the roll, please, Meredith.
Good morning. Alan Barkstrom,
Here.
Jeff Hallstrand,
Here.
Paula Hodek,
Here.
Jordan Spacek is excused, and Dennis Workgo.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, is there any public comment? There's nobody in the gallery. As if there's somebody online, it's *6 to unmute yourself. Nope, we're not getting anything, so. Any communications from the committee? No. Employee status updates.
All right. This month or since the last meeting, I shouldn't say this month, but since the last meeting, we've had no new hires, promotions, or reassignments, terminations, resignations, and retirements. We did have one, Danae Walsasak. She was the program assistant at UW Extension. Her last day was 8/29/2025. That's a part-time position. I believe they were there about a year or just under a year. Recruitments. So we are going to be re-recruiting or recruiting for that program assistant. Jennifer, is it less than 22 hours? It's part-time. So,
Yeah, I feel like it's 16 hours.
16 hours makes sense. Yeah, 16 hours for that position. We're looking for part-time correction officers and dispatchers. That's ongoing. Part-time deputy sheriffs. That's ongoing. And substitute nutrition site manager, which is ongoing. So those three are always on the list, and it's just we're always looking for part-time individuals. So retention has been good for the last couple months. For those who've been on the committee for a while, it was bad for a while. We were recruiting 10 to 15 jobs at any one time. So positive, we have full staff. Negative, that also affects your budget because we don't have that gap anymore. So
Is that it?
yep.
Supervisor policy and procedure manual.
Yeah, so you should have in your packet the recommended changes for the supervisor policy and procedure manual. These were things that were talked about throughout the last year. This is your supervisors, board members. This is your way you guys want to be policies and procedures amongst yourselves. So there's a couple areas that are red. If you choose not to do any of the red, you'll have to do at least one resolution which sets your per diems and the board salary. If you choose to do the red, we can do the per diem and board salary with those red markups because it would be one change as a whole. So you'll see one of two resolutions next month for approval for to send to the full board for November. That's a different set of stuff.
Yeah. So-
Probably the biggest change in this recommendation is, we talked about it several months ago, is the one where we're having an additional April meeting. So
Yeah, that's second for a business meeting.
yeah, so in the past, we tried to do everything in one meeting, and it technically doesn't work that way. We made it work, but what we'll be doing is in April, after the election, you'll have a meeting you'll all be part of the new board, whoever runs for it. And then at that one, you'll do the elections to pick, then whoever the board chair is would, by the next meeting, would put together the committees. And then at the second April meeting, it would be a regular meeting of the whole. But at that, you would go into several small meetings. You'd go into a meeting of forestry, and the members that are be placed on forestry based on the new sign up would choose their board chair, their committee chair and their vice chair. That way, in order to have your May meetings, you'll have a chair and a vice chair. Otherwise, there's no way to approve an agenda based on your policies and procedures. So it's just a procedural thing. We'll have 2 meetings in April. One will be shorter, an introduction. We can do some educational things. The second one is actually a regular business meeting.
So it'll be just the committee members that vote for the chair and vice
Correct.
chair.
So,
The
yeah.
The rest of the board's gonna sit there and watch.
Yeah, so what you'll do is you'll close the board meeting, you'll open a forestry meeting. So the clerk will call for, I'm calling order a forestry meeting on this date. The 5 members that are on forestry, who would you like to, is there a motion to create or choose a chair of that committee? Then the chair would take over, choose the vice chair, they would adjourn. So we'll have a pretty long agenda at that one to
If I
pick.
may, Mr. Chair, what about the committees that have to be elected by the full board, like
Yep.
executive highway? That's at the first meeting?
Correct. That's
Just
at the first. So at the first one, you'll elect your highway and your executive. Then we'll, and then, we'll do some education stuff. We'll just do congratulations. Okay. So then you close it. That's when you'll have a board chair and vice chair also elected at that one. That's when the board chair and the county administrator get together. We gather and go, okay, these are the committees. And then we'll advise everybody that this is your committee. A week later, we get together as the business meeting, or the regular meeting, I should say. And that's where, so you'll still have an executive meeting at that one. You'll have a highway, but they'll already be elected, so that when you make the committees of all the other ones, you don't have to try to move stuff because somebody got elected to a committee that you weren't in the past.
Just want to be clear as
Yep.
when those full board elections take place.
At the first one, yeah.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I would have some questions on the cellphone. The red.
That's later.
That's later? I thought it was in the same packet.
No, it's just connected together. Yeah.
Okay.
We're just working on the supervisor policy and
Supervisors.
procedure manual, yeah. Cell phone, social media, that's the county employee handbook issues.
So I need a
So
motion.
I'll make a motion to approve this exhibit A.
I'll second that.
Governing rules of Price County Board of Supervisors.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion?
So with that motion in a second, what we'll do is make the resolution for next committee meeting, and it'll go to the full board. So what you're motioning is you approve these recommended changes to go to the board, but it'll be a couple steps yet.
Do we have to address the per diem and stuff like this?
You could, if there's no changes to per diem, you could just say, accept what's in there. And that's what I'm assuming that's happening based on the motion, that you don't want to change the per diem.
I
But-
don't necessarily want to change per diem, but there is one issue, and that's with that second one in the same day. Because I got put on,
Traffic safety.
I'm on traffic safety, but then I got put on law enforcement, and they meet the same day when they meet. And so I come down here at 9 to do that meeting, and then I gotta sit here for 3-4 hours
Oh,
for the next meeting, because
Yeah.
it doesn't pay to run back to Park Falls and then turn around and come back. I just don't think that. that's right.
We could change the language in there to be a regular meeting of the committee. If it's 2 in a day, you get both per diems. What we're trying to stop is like, we'll have executive one day, but we'll do a 15-minute
Right,
admin
right.
meeting. Like,
right.
we don't want to pay the full per diem for that, but we could make language in there that if it's a regular
Regular
A regular
scheduled
meeting.
full meeting.
Yeah,
you'd get
I
the-
think we should do that.
right. Well, I agree that's to expect you to sit here for 3-4 hours is,
We
And wait
changed
for
the
your
per diem
meeting.
last year. I think the per diem is adequate now.
Yeah, I do
Yeah.
too, but I don't think we shouldn't go too long without changing that, because the way things are going and right now with
Mhm.
everything.
well, maybe you want to change it now.
I don't think we have to, but
Okay.
There's a
Personally, but-
there's a state spreadsheet that goes around just to see where per diems are at and what board members get paid. I would say in our peer group, we're competitive if we're not on a little bit on the high side. Like if you look at directly next to us, if you look farther out with same size, we're within reason. What we're not close to is like a Marathon County. They just get a salary as a board member. Chippewa County gets that kind of stuff. So we can look at it. I can bring it back. So today we don't have to make any final decisions. You can motion like, hey, everything's looking good. Sounds like you want some language on the double meeting. If as long as it's a regular scheduled, you get both per diems. Do you want me to try to track down that list?
Mhm. I think that'd be good.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to approve the changes in the procedure manual. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Okay. Resolution approved revisions to the county board supervisor. Well, we got a resolution for that. huh?
So I would say don't approve the resolution if you want me to do a couple extra things.
Yeah, okay,
So you can just postpone that
okay.
or just move past it for now.
LTE wage schedule,
Yeah. So this one,
interpreter wage.
there should be a thing in your packet. Just it doesn't give you any information. It's just what the format would be. We're lucky to have an employee who's bilingual and has started to assist us when it comes to interpretive services. So there's two different levels of interpretive services is how I would look at it. One is a certified interpreter, which that would be for the courtroom, things like that. That's not what we're looking at. That's the court system deals with that. It's a whole third party thing. What we're looking at is we have an employee who can assist us when it comes to one example was the sheriff's department got a voicemail that was in Spanish. And so they interpreted that voicemail so that they could continue the investigation. If we don't utilize this employee, then you have to call a service. The service costs you a lot of money per hour to have them assist. So what I'm recommending is we look at giving or putting in place on our LTE wage some type of enhancer for assisting with the skill set of being an interpreter or a bilingual individual. It would only be when they're doing interpretive services. So it's not like they get it all the time. It would be, oh, there's somebody needs help in the Register of Deeds or in the clerk's office or even upstairs in the clerk's office when it's not a court mandated issue. They can help just to get, what form are you looking for? What, they can't fill stuff out for them. They can't do stuff for them, but at least we can provide the service rather than calling out to a third party. So there's different ways you can do it. You could do like an additional X dollars per hour. You can do, this is what their hourly rate is when they're doing the job. So you could pick a different hourly rate. You could do a per diem that every time you assist, it's X dollars. I don't have a preference.
How do you track it? Say if you give them an extra $1 an hour, I think they should get something extra.
Yeah.
And it depends on what their position is too, I guess. But so if they're in one department, but then they interpret, does that go to a different department as far as the wage gets charged?
Yeah, we
to?
can. We can bill it to that department, just the wages.
And if they're translating a voicemail that takes, say, 5 minutes, do we still give them a full hour?
Yeah, so I would say it's a minimum of an hour because otherwise, if you did a couple dollars an hour, all of a sudden it's like, cool, I got 13 cents to do this.
No, I agree, but I think we got to put something in writing so we know exactly how
Yeah,
it's formulated.
I put some language on the bottom of the sheet just saying it's a minimum of 1 hour. It has to be approved by the Office of Administration. So it's not just an employee that has high school Spanish that all of a sudden is like, oh, I answered a phone call and said, hola or the basics. We just happen to have an employee that is bilingual. They're actually working on certification for outside of work, but it has been an assistance to us. We've used them in law enforcement. We've used them in the court system. We've used them in the clerk's office. We've used them several areas. So it's just a matter of, this is a skill set. We don't require it for any of the jobs we have, but because we have somebody that can do it, we're saving a bunch of money on interpretive services for that quick, short stuff. It's got to be, like I said, pre-approved by our office to work with a department. So like Sheriff's Department, they were working on a animal case. And so this individual was helping. We knew about it. They would just track, cool, I did 2 or 3 hours. That's why, is it a per diem? Cool, every time I assist. I know we'll have to monitor it. I don't think there'll be abuse where it's like, oh, I did 4 documents. That's 4 per diems. That's not what it would be. It would just be, cool, I'm helping out for half hour.
Well, I'm concerned about double dipping. If you're getting paid to be here already, and you get a per diem, you're double dipping, aren't you?
Yeah, per diem's a little weird because it's like it would be no different than just saying you get X dollars per hour extra. It was just a per diem style. You could,
I would think that, you're gonna stop your job, and then you're gonna go do something else. Then you're gonna restart your job. I would say just an hour extra at a higher rate.
yeah, and that's, we said a minimum of an hour.
I would say you should make it worth, a couple bucks an hour.
Yeah, that's where I think like when we sat down as a staff,
So you're gonna get
HR,
$4. That's not a whole lot.
right? That's where we struggled like we sat down HR, finance, just make sure it fits within a budget type thing, and sitting down and saying, okay, if we did $2 enhancer, it feels like, wow, $2. But when you look at it, cool, I have this, I'm bilingual, I'm helping out, I'm saving you 50, 60, $100 an hour
get
because
something.
interpreter. I'm not saying that's what they should make, but it's that person, a person could say, why am I have my regular job to do. I don't have time for $1 or $2 extra.
How many hours do you think?
Our job descriptions all say all of the duties as assigned on them.
Yeah, but I would say you can't force someone to use their.
That's a special skill.
Yeah.
It is, but that's how I would
At
answer
this
that
time, how
argument. You
many
just-
hours do you think that would involve per year,
Per year,
per pay period, or however you wanna?
I would say less than an hour a week. It's not as often as you think. It's just we've had
Right.
when we had that body on the side of the road on Highway 13, we use this individual services because there's no interpreters locally, so they had to go. They actually went with law enforcement to a home to say, "Hey, are you missing anybody?"
So an extra $1 an hour would amount to like $50 a year.
Yeah, it's not for being bilingual and having
I
a
don't
skill
think
set.
$1 enough.
That's kind of
Sense, and I'll shut up now.
yeah. You be quiet.
Now,
No,
how about a flat fee of just $25?
Well, that's what I was thinking.
$25.
If we give a $25 fee when you're assisted with the approval of the department manager.
and that would be what the per diem would be like. Cool, you did something. You got an extra per diem for doing it.
Yeah, I think that'd be a cleaner way of doing it.
Yep, and
We
and
should-
the
we-
department, whoever the department manager that requests it understands that, if you're using them for an hour and 15 minutes, it's 2 hours.
Yeah.
If you're using them for anything
Start
less
the
than
clock.
an hour, it's an hour. And then they're approved because they know that they're paying it
Yeah.
out of their budget.
And I will say, no one's abusing it. It's been very, very helpful to have. an
We should
individual-
find a way because it's valuable.
I agree.
Yeah, and if the individual were to leave, it would just happen to be, we're not going to go out and put in the job description, this position needs to be bilingual. It just happened. We got lucky that an individual that applied and was qualified for a position has this skill set.
So are we in the motion process?
No.
No, I mean,
Well, maybe if we're going to do more discussing. Well, this could be Pandora's box that I'm opening here. There was a discussion at Highway the other day about employees who have a skill set and are asked to train other people and they're not getting compensated for training them. So I don't know if that's something we need to talk about.
It does fall in the same line.
they're not training anybody.
No, but they've got a special skill set that we're gonna pay them something extra for. Not everybody can train somebody.
I don't
I don't know if there's a fine line in this, Nick.
know. I know, but I think your example is tough because I don't think it's not, it's a unique, not everybody can do that skill set. I get that, but it's less, the contracted rate to go, we would be able to do it without that individual. This we can't do without that individual.
Okay, just,
Yeah.
we,
It's way outside the normal workload where construction, cool, you can do concrete now, which is again a skill set, but
and I get that. I get that, but
and it's not part of your normal. It's not, yeah.
we could be setting a precedent and that might bring up some issues.
Yeah. I get where, yes, but then it's like we're getting back to the old union days where it's like it's not in my job
No,
description. I'm not going to
I
do it.
know.
Well, that's where other duties is assigned. I don't think we're opening that box of like, well, I can ride a bike really fast, so I should get extra. Like that's where's it going to stop? I'm really good at spreadsheets compared to my cohort. So you're going to pay me extra for no, you pay me for the job, and it just happens I have a skill set that's extra there. I know where you're coming from, but this is a very, very unique skill set.
Oh, I understand that. Interpreters are needed, especially in the way our cultures are changing or
Yeah.
communities.
Efficiency in a skill set is different than, so like, again, I can't do concrete, but like, yes, you did it a previous career, so you're faster than your coworkers, but your coworkers can still do it. So are we paying because you're more efficient? Yep, we're already paying you more because you've been here longer. That's the difference, I think, there.
Well, you would have to deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah, this one, it's very tough because we do need an interpreter multiple times
yeah.
a year. And it is not cheap when you call those services.
No, it's not. Because they're skilled and they're trained.
Yep. And they're hard to come by.
Only addressing one language.
Correct, yes. It's the one we need 80%
Right?
of the time, I would say.
Yeah.
You guys can sleep on it and we can talk about it in a future one. It's just happened to be, it's something to address. I did reach out to other counties. Not a lot of the small ones have this opportunity. A lot of the bigger ones just have an interpreter
Mhm.
and pay a lot per hour for
Yeah.
that skill set. I don't think we're there. I don't think we're nowhere near that, hiring just an interpreter.
So I'm just wondering if maybe there's more discussion that needs to be dealt with. I don't know. Putting it out there. Or not. We do need the interpreter, that's for sure.
I don't see the individual we're working with all of a sudden being like, I'm not helping. But again, this is one of those, they are going above and beyond
Yeah.
outside. It's a very unique skill set. It is other duties as assigned. It was just not a normal other duty as assigned.
I don't think that falls under other duties as assigned. I don't think being an interpreter, I mean, look in this room, can anybody be an interpreter? No. So I don't think, I think this is valid. I think it has a lot of potential. I guess, do we need to come up with the wage at this point as well too? So Alan, you were saying,
I would recommend, I don't have to think about it too long, an additional $25 as long as it's within an hour. And if you go into 2 hours, you get another $25.
So if we do it Jenna, this is a question for you. So if we do it as a enhancer on the wage, that would affect overtime and things. If it's a per diem, would that still?
Asking Jennifer?
Don't know the answer to that question,
So
but I still appreciate that.
yeah. So,
We have other enhancers that we have. I mean, the highway shop is a great example.
and it creates a horrible
Yeah,
overtime
I mean,
issue.
They get, what is it, a $2 stipend when they're on call or
150 in the
I mean,
winter.
There's these stipends that are out there
Yeah.
that we're paying somebody already.
Paper,
additional For doing
yeah.
something
It should not be
additional.
overtime issue.
Right.
As a,
If that hour is part of the 40 hours,
Right.
it should not be overtime.
but wouldn't it create a new base wage? That's my issue.
If the only thing we have an issue with that is if there's actual overtime incurred that week. It could, yes, it could. It'd be a different
Only if
amount.
it's a wage.
Either way.
Yeah, I think it creates.
So,
it's
so
not as-
hypothetically, Brian stops somebody that doesn't speak English and we call this person in at 10 o'clock at night to come in and interpret what they're trying to say. Now it's an overtime issue.
Yeah, that's a whole. I don't think
And a
that'll
mileage.
I
happen.
think, I
Yeah,
think you do it as a stipend, as a per diem,
Put them in the slammer for a while.
you know, the interpreter services for $20 additional an hour. If we use you for an hour, call you in, well then.
yeah. I don't see us calling in. That's not the intent of this person.
Because then you would be getting into mileage and all that too, so.
This is meant for like during your regular work day.
Mhm.
They can plan around it. This is not like if the sheriff's department's doing their job out on the street and all of a sudden they pulled over somebody that speaks Spanish. That's a whole different issue. That won't be this individual will not get involved with that.
Well,
I
you're,
was trying to be humorous, but there is an app for that. There's
I was
several
just
of them.
gonna say,
Yeah.
there is an app for that, yeah.
I
yeah.
use it quite often, actually.
The schools have, I know up in Schwamigan,
Phillips has a couple too.
Mr. Schmidt was saying that the kids and the teachers have that too, so maybe officers should have that app.
That's a whole.
I know, but it kind of talks about the issue, so.
Well, knowing that we're kind of in that 25 per diem or some type of thing, do you want us to go back and we'll bring it back
Mhm.
next meeting and just clean it up and figure out
Yeah,
if we're in the ballpark?
That would be my
Okay.
suggestion.
works for me.
You gotta do more than just give them an extra couple dollars per hour because that's not enough.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we were talking
I
when we
agree.
got together as a group. It's like, oh, what if we did like a $3 thing? That's really, if sounds great. It's $3 if it's all year, that'd be great because then you're averaging it out. But when it's just like, cool, I got an hour this week, you're not even going to notice $3. So, okay, so we have some guidelines. We'll work on that. So number 7, you can skip.
Number 8, health insurance 2026 premiums.
All right. So I have a couple things. First, so we originally got a general guidance from our broker that our renewal would be about 10.4%. So not too bad, which is good. We then kind of started looking at what we're currently offering, what we can change, what products we can try to reduce that amount. And through several conversations, we're almost got a package ready. So I'm just going to kind of give you the 10,000 foot view of what we're thinking. So one of the things we're going to do is right now we have 3 plans. We have a Simply One, it's called, which is a narrow network plan. We have the WPS statewide plan, and then we have a zero deductible plan. Zero deductible, you pay a higher premium. It's part of the Simply One narrow network. So right now we have 3 different plans. With whatever we do, the high deductible plans will increase to meet the minimum HSA qualification. So if we did nothing, we were still going to be increasing the single plan deductible from 1,650 to 1,700, and the family will increase from 3,300 to 3,400. So if we did nothing, we knew the deductible was going to go up in order to meet the HSA eligibility. As we worked with our broker, we decided to eliminate the zero deductible plan. Last year we had 4 users. This year we had 1. So 2 we had this year. So it just doesn't pay for us to manage that and have that zero deductible plan. We also are no longer receiving as big of discounts from our narrow network as we used to. So we're also recommending eliminating the Simply One Marshfield plan and just simplifying and going to a broad or statewide plan. We're still encouraging people to use Marshfield. It is one of the lower cost in the area, but as far as managing 2 plans, it doesn't it doesn't help us enough to have that extra paperwork. We're going to be introducing a new higher deductible plan. So we're going to have a we're calling it high, but a higher deductible plan, which will have deductibles of $3,400 for a single and $6,800 for a family. And again, all tentative. We'll finalize next meeting. So that's going to be our new base plan. So our base plan is going to have that higher deductible of $3,400 for a single, $6,800 for a family. But because we'll have a higher deductible, we'll have a much lower premium that the employee will pay compared to what they currently pay. Let's see. So we have that new high deductible plan. That's going to be our base plan. It's going to be called the HSA Choice Care Plan. And then we're going to have a buy down plan. And what that means is, the base plan will be this one. If you want to take on less risk as an employee and have a lower deductible, you'll be able to choose what used to be the WPS statewide plan, but you're going to pay a higher monthly premium compared to the base plan. We're talking about adding an HSA bonus for getting your yearly physical at the Tailored Family Clinic. So say you pick that new base plan and then you and one other adult, so up to 2 people in your household, go down to Tailored, get your annual physical, which is there's a savings for us to have people using that. We'll give you a bonus in your HSA, which would help you towards that new higher deductible. Again, it introduces people into that Tailored family. So we do have some great utilization. I have a chart later that we'll talk about, but it is saving us a bunch of money to have that. So you'll get money to go there, or you'll get HSA assistance to go there. With going there, we're going to be introducing some new products that they'll be helping us with, which is like managed care, directed care. We're going to introduce a new weight loss management program called Better Health. Not Better Help. That's the therapy one, which we have that also. We're going to change our deductible for telehealth benefits to 0. So right now, if you call telehealth, which is you avoid going to the doctor in the evening, you don't want to go to the ER because you have a cold or something that might be going on. Right now, when you pick up the phone and call the teledoc, I can't remember, was it $80? It's like $80, which is, people don't want to do that because, well, it cost me $80 and I still might have to go to the ER if it's bad enough. So
If the employee is charged $80?
yep, through their deductible. Now what we're recommending is $0 on that telehealth. And what that'll do is encourage more people to use that instead of the ER, because we have a really high ER utilization rate compared to the benchmark. We have a lot of, and we get a list of what people go to the ER for. We don't know who, but it'll be like, a lot of the things are avoidable ER visits, but we don't have a walk-in and we don't have a lot of options after hours. So we're encouraging this because that saves you $3,000 compared to walking into the ER for something that
Marshfield and Spivers both
closed their,
care, and everything is ER visit.
yeah,
Doesn't matter what time.
yeah.
ER, so that's gonna drive that number up.
Yeah, and we talked about that with our broker. They understand that. But if you look at the list, the things that people are going to the ER are not emergent.
Well,
Even walk-in, they're not. It's like, I don't want to pick on anybody or do anything like that because we don't know names, but it's like some of this stuff, it's like, I get it's uncomfortable, but it was, 1, why didn't we check on it earlier in the day? Or 2, it can wait till the morning. And I never, if it's an emergency, go to the emergency room. If you're bleeding, if you're dying in any way, go to the emergency room. That's not the problem. But when our broker gives you the list and says a lot of these shouldn't, it's tough, right? We don't have the walk-in. So that's why we're lowering the telehealth. We have the free Tailored Family. So we're creating our own walk-in situation. So now you should have 24-hour coverage, at least to get the basics looked at or covered. New international medication offering. And what this is we have several employees that are on high cost medications. So for example, we have one medication, it's just over $20,000 a month for the medication. By implementing this program, we can't force employees to be on it, but we can work with the employee to get on that program. It should be about $6,000 a month. So we should save about $160,000 in medication on just one individual. I think we have 5 or 7 that would qualify, which is a significant savings if we can get everybody to be part of that. So we have two programs. One is the high cost international, and then we have one called CanRx, which is your daily medicine. So the stuff that you get a 90-day supply, 120-day supply. We're working with a vendor that gets the medicine for cheaper through Canada. And we have several employees. I think there was like 20 or 20 some on the list, 18. We emailed them all. We're working with them. Those who are using it think it's a great program. It saves them on their deductible up front because a lot of these medicines, it's like, oh, I had to buy in bulk January 1st. So there's a reduced cost for the employee and the employer when it gets to it. New care navigation program. So that one's called My Advocate. Again, that's going to be working with Tailored and working with individuals to direct care. So that's a program where we'll have to finalize, but if you need a knee surgery, or not knee surgery, an MRI is the simplest one. I go into Tailored because I twisted my knee. They recommend or prescribe me, write me a script for a MRI. In the past, I would just go, cool, where's the closest? Okay, Medford. It's $4,000. There's an app that you'll use that'll say, hey, if you go over to Wausau, you can go to imaging Wausau imaging, something like that. It's $650 for that same MRI, same everything. So Tailored will direct you there. This app will direct you there. And then you as a employee, so it was $600 from $3,000. We subtract the difference, and then you as an employee get an incentive up to $5,000 or 25% of that savings. So now we're going to pay you to go to Wausau because you saved the county $3,000 or $2,400. We're going to give you some of that money, which will help you pay for that $600 that you owed in that MRI. Those are like the smaller ones. Mammograms are big, colonoscopies. The ones where we're going to see the biggest savings is knee surgeries. So if I go to Wausau and get my knee surgery, it's $50,000. If I go over to Eau Claire to Oakleaf and get that same knee surgery, which they pump you in and out and do them very well, they're good at it, it's $10,000. You save the county's medical $40,000. We're going to give you $5,000 because that would be the max, but you'll receive the $5,000, which pays your deductible, pays you to get over there, pays your meals while you're there, helps you out with this whole thing because you save the county a substantial amount of money. So those are the major, like, if you just were narrating the changes. I do have it kind of laid out on a spreadsheet, but it's not that it's any less confusing. What we'll need to do is at a future meeting is approve the premiums per month on the two plans. Any questions on kind of where the direction we're going with health insurance? With all those changes, we believe we shouldn't have to have that 10% increase to our budget. We're not sure where it is yet, but it'll fit within the budget that we're working with.
Okay, is that it?
For now, unless you have questions on health insurance,
Well,
it's enough of it.
that's enough. Employee handbook, employee work cell phone policy.
Okay, so we put together a policy. It's in your packet. We're going to recommend that this doesn't go in the handbook, but goes into the admin manual when we do finally approve it. But it needs to be reviewed by you guys because it is a county policy. So it should be in your packet. I think it was the last page on whatever you guys were looking.
Sure.
County cell phone policy.
How many people have county cell phones?
More than you'd think. So foremans at the highway, all social workers, forestry department, HR, myself.
So what's the penalty to the county if somebody has a county cell phone and gets a personal call or makes a personal call, what's the negative side to the county? I mean, I
No,
can't-
there's none. The negative
can't
side
see
is
where
there's a
people would want to
charge.
have 2 cell phones. I have
Oh.
trouble carrying
Pain
one.
in the butt.
Yeah, it's a pain in the butt, but I would 100% recommend 2 separate cell phones because of open records requests and just,
Okay, that's
When
the-
we get
that's
it-
the route that
yep.
is open record.
and then at the end of their career, we take that number and that phone back, and that way they're not getting contacted outside of work. We also could have hourly rate issues if the employee doesn't turn the cell phone off and starts answering questions. We technically owe them for work outside of their normal hours. Yeah, the second cell phone, it may be a pain in the butt, but it is 100% recommended. We put some provisions in there, like if you were, it was an emergency and you needed to contact somebody, you can use your work cell phone. Just let us know that you used it for personal use. But you shouldn't be surfing the internet and texting family on it. And
Okay. Do we need to?
so nothing needs to be approved today. It's just, we're going to go through all the things that were updates we're recommending.
Okay.
So the cell phone policy was the first one.
Social media?
No, the next, because we're sticking with the handbook, we can go to the social media, which is number 10, but otherwise there should have been a summary sheet that you got yesterday. We put together a summary that was, yeah, Brian's holding it up. It's like a single page and it's got like the updated red. I'm opening it up.
I think it was attached at the end in your mailboxes. It should be towards the very end.
Yep. Jeff, you got it. So it's a summary page of everything we've been talking about over the last couple meetings. The first one was the payroll and accounts payable, employee 1 week man. Yep, we got it over here. Okay, so the first one, so all we did was take the little chunks. That's not the whole policy anymore, but the words that we're going to ask. So the first one is in the handbooks under number 10. What we want to add this language for was because when employees are doing their mandatory week off, which helps us understand, okay, how do we do backups? How do we do everything that employee would do when they're gone? We had issues where employees were redoing all their work for the future week, and then so their backup didn't have to do the work. That's not how it's intended to work, because the goal is to catch something or learn what we need to do if that person were to disappear and we had to do their job. So we're just clarifying in that portion of the handbook that employees shall not complete their payroll or accounts payable duties prior to their vacation. So don't pre-do all your work for your coworker, which was a very nice gesture, but it goes against the whole reason we're doing that.
Say their mandatory vacation.
It does. So
I know it's under that heading, but.
And that,
prior to any
Oh.
vacation, I can dump on you.
that was suggested through the audit, wasn't it?
yeah, that whole, I know where you're saying,
Yeah.
Jeff. We'll clean that up for next week's approval. But yeah, where it's not just because I'm taking a vacation day. You should do your work.
You should
But
do your work before a vacation, but when you're on your mandatory vacation, it's because Paula needs to understand. what
Right.
I do.
yeah, so
Right.
under their mandatory.
I don't know if I want to
But
understand
not-
what you
not
do.
The other 5 weeks of the year, I'm just gonna dump on you.
Right, there you, it's all yours, goodbye.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, it's okay. That's a good one.
But
we'll
as I
fix
had
that.
stated, that was from the audit, correct?
We created the program through
Yeah,
the audit
got
because it is meant to catch fraud
Right.
or really it's to make sure if anybody were to leave, you could do their job when they're gone
Right.
for that short period of time. And it's worked well. We've found some holes that we definitely need to work on. And even when Carrie took her mandatory one, I have to do all the bank transfers and approve them. So it's like, I do that once a year, maybe twice a year. Well, all my passwords and all my pre-approvals through the banks go away after so many months. So I should be doing that more often so that I keep my credentials up. And just little things like that. There's reports that we had to learn how to run because Carrie's very good at making sure we're prepared for those. So it showed some holes in our backups, which is good.
Can we try that at home with our husbands and a while?
So we'll
It's a
add,
Common problem though within government
Mhm.
institutions, Northwest Regional Planning and our audit, same thing, same red flag popped up that we don't have redundancy within.
yeah.
I brought this up when we started doing that.
Yeah, and the mandatory portion is more because it's fiscal positions, but really anytime somebody leaves, there should be watching for that. Management should be watching like, cool, you took 3 days off. Did everything get done? Is there something that no one would have known how to do and they had to do pre-vacation or post-vacation? We have a lot of misconception that like, this is my job and if someone else can do it, they're going to take it from me. It's like, no, this is everybody's job. We want everybody to be done. You're still a valuable employee.
Right.
We want you to be able to take that vacation and things still
Just
work
to keep
properly.
everything flowing.
Yep.
Yeah. I think it's a great idea.
The next one was under benefits miscellaneous in the handbook, and that is we have a social worker program, a certificate program that we've always gotten proof of passing grade for courses, but we want to make sure we put that in there, that it's clearly defined that, well, I took the course, I have to take it again. Well, we're not paying because you failed the first time. So it has not happened. We haven't had the issue, but we're preempting the issue. It was brought up by that department. Expense reimbursements for hours, travels, training, blah, blah. This one we talked about, it's just, we want you to submit your reimbursement within 15 days of returning or the end of that conference, whichever's later. So I'm going to a conference in September for WCA. I'll return on Wednesday. I have 15 days to get my stuff in. I would say 98%, 99% of employees are very good at it, but we have a couple that it's like, oh, it's been 6 months. I found this receipt. Well, it's hard for accounting. It's hard to manage. So you got 15 days to reimburse. Cell phone and telephone use. So this one's in the handbook. The big thing you guys are recommending, that'll go in the admin manual. So in the handbook, we just cleaned up county issued cell phones are to be used for county business purposes and only for personal use in an emergency. The county issued cell phone policy is in the administration handbook, provides further guidance and use. So this will be what every employee gets, and then those who get a cell phone will have the administration manual and sign off on that other policy that we're recommending.
Already monitored.
The use, it's really in that new policy, we have the ability to audit. So like we see all the cell phone bills come through office administration. We do not look line by line. If we all of a sudden see like a weird spike, we might look at it. If we are told by a manager that they're always on their phone and they're playing, okay, we'll have the ability to look at it, but it's self-policed. So, but we have the option to go in there and look. And then the last one for future approval is what we talked about is the gifts. This one was weird because we tried to incorporate it into the current gifts and stuff. We decided it's better just to add a whole nother paragraph. And so this one talks about if you go to a conference and you win the AirPods or a cooler, you're okay. So it's up to $250. All the other stuff stays in there where you can't go to lunch with somebody unless they're a already contracted vendor. accepting gifts like a handout from those vendors. It's all covered currently. This was just a new, what we had talked about, where you go to a conference and win something. So based on all those, if there's no, what do you want to change? Oh,
My first impression of the gift amount 250, that seemed like a lot. But I guess.
It isn't.
Nowadays, no.
But if you get some kind of a cooler, some of them are.
Or if you get a Yeti cooler, it's
A
twice
Yeti.
that.
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah, we see a lot of TVs given away, AirPods,
Yeah.
iWatches, those are $250. So vendors, yeah, we don't bring it home very often to
Oh,
this
yeah.
county. Yeah.
Or jerseys.
Yeah, football jersey, they do that Camping World one
Mhm.
every year at the WCA. So they'll have Packer jerseys that they give away. So based on the discussion today, we'll clean that first one up, and then we'll have a resolution for everything at the next one. So it'll be approved in November. We'll probably make it official January 1st so that we can get it out to all the employees. But now we know where we want to be. We'll clean it up and get the resolutions ready.
Okay.
Social media policy.
Okay.
Social media policy.
So that should also be in your handbook. And this one, to be very, very clear to everybody, this has nothing to do with your personal use of it. This
We
is
have a
for,
social media something?
no, that's why we want to put this in place. So we have,
Why would you even have one?
well, we have several
Got a
Facebook.
website.
Yeah, we have several Facebook pages. So Health and Human Services has one, Sheriff's Department has one, both of the dogs have one, Highway has one, Vet Service has one, the clerks or the county as a whole has one. I think we had 8. I just named 7. So I'm short.
Did you
But-
say public health?
Public
Yep,
health.
yep.
So that's not part of the government, the Price County government offices?
Yep. So each one of those is part of the office. What we're saying is we have no reins on it right now. So we're recommending this policy saying, here's our general guidelines for our social media use as if you're an employee running our social media. This is not to do with your personal social media. Got really quiet when that. Yeah, so it's not like Nick just can jump on the vet service one. Each department has their very specific individual. The biggest thing we're struggling with social media is it has to be under an individual's name, which is dangerous. So like vet service, I'll pick on them, but it was under Tony's personal name. Well, you could be sitting at home and scrolling and accidentally post under the vet service versus your personal one, which it hasn't happened, but we're working on trying to get a corporate Facebook account, but it still has to be linked to somebody's name. So we're working with Laura to be that single name, and then all the Facebooks would be put on there, and then that position would give out permission to who can add to it. So I don't want to say controlling it, but we're trying to
No, controlling.
cleaning it up.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Managing it.
Mhm.
We're managing who has access to it.
Okay,
So any issues with the recommendations, that would go in the admin manual also. So that's why we'll have 2 resolutions at the next meeting, one for the handbook and then one for the administration manual.
Okay.
So we don't need motions or anything like that.
Okay.
did we do the minutes?
No.
Did I miss the minutes?
Yeah. I'll make a motion to
I
approve the
can do
minutes.
that.
I'll make that motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
I,
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Okay, tailored family health updates.
I can't remember if I sent it out to you guys, but I'll share here.
Yeah.
Oh, the grievance
Okay.
policy, we've been recommended by legal not to touch that because we're dealing with a grievance right now, so you don't
Okay.
want to change it in the middle. Hopefully by the time October 9th, I think is my date, right? I have a court case October 9th. So after that, we can do something, hopefully. So we'll talk more about that in the future if that cleans up. If not, we'll just wait till further in the future. Shared. I just shared, but Tailored Family Health Update, again, great program. We're happy to have them in the community. We get a quarterly report, and this is what they believe our minimum savings are. So I put it up on the board. I can't remember. Oh yeah, you have it in your packet. So total estimated savings in the first quarter was 86,000. The total estimated savings in the second quarter was 102. And where I agree with this, but I disagree with it. I agree that based on the service provided, we did save this. So you got an X-ray, we saved. So X-rays, we did 5 of them. We paid 625. If they would have went somewhere else, it would have been 2,200 for just the X-ray. The problem that we're not capturing is with that X-ray, you also probably went into the emergency room, which is a charge. You talked to a doctor, which is a charge. You had somebody look at you 3 times. That's another charge. So that doesn't get captured in the savings. They just said X-ray to X-ray, not all. Where when you get an X-ray at Tailored, it's a visit and an X-ray. Where you get going somewhere else, it's an X-ray and how many other charges, whether it's ER or everything else. So now I believe this is the minimum we've saved, which has been great through 2 quarters. I only think it's going to get bigger because we are not seeing a high utilization rate. We're seeing a growth in our utilization rate. But I wanted to give you guys an update on that because it is good to see.
Okay, item 12, the 26 deputy union negotiation update.
Yep. So I just put this on here as part of the open session. We did exchange lists yesterday. I haven't looked at it yet because I did it late yesterday. What the process will be is I gave them our list. They gave us theirs. We'll review it in closed session. We'll talk about, do we want to reach out and get more clarification? What do we want to deal with? You'll give us direction, Jennifer and I, on like what we should be working on collecting. And then at the October meeting, our goal is to meet in person, if that's what's recommended by you guys, to hash out what the final agreement will be. So our goal is October 15th. If it gets pushed back, last time it was November, but better to be ahead than behind.
Okay. And our next meeting date is October the 15th.
And that one's on a Wednesday, which normally you're on Tuesday, but the board kicked you off the Tuesday because statutorily we have to have that board meeting
October
before
15th. Right,
or October 15th. Yeah.
With that, announcement and motion to adjourn the closed session pursuant to the exemptions of Wisconsin State Statute 19.851C to consider employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility, and 19.851E deliberate or negotiate within competitive or bargaining reasons requiring a closed session for the purpose of. And today's purpose is the deputies union negotiations. So motion would be in order.
I'll second.
Motion and second to go to closed session, call the roll, please.
Alan Bergstrom.
Yes.
Jeff Hallstrand, Paula Hodak,
Yes.
Dennis Wortko. Thank you.
So we'll be ending the WebEx meeting. We won't come back to it because there's no action on the, so